Hi, my name is Andrew Felton and I work with the Tualatin Soil and Water Conservation District, and today we're going to talk a little bit about sheet mulching. Sheet mulching, or sheet composting as it also is known, is a way to remove your lawn and boost your soil without using a lot of chemicals and without spending days digging up grass roots. This process is essentially building a large compost pile with layers. For that reason, it's called the lasagna method, because it's essentially stacking different layers on top of one another to help create your final product. Instead of food ingredients, you'll actually be using carbon and nitrogen-rich materials. Your carbon materials that you'll be using consist of cardboard, newspaper, straw bedding, things along those lines. And your nitrogen materials will be manure, compost, kitchen scraps, and lawn clippings. There's a couple of different methods that you can do a sheet mulching project in. One of them is shorter. It can typically be ready in about a day or so, which is great for a pinch, but you are going to have a lot of follow-up in pulling out any weeds and any grass roots. The longer method is the one that we'll be looking at today. That one takes about 3 to 4 months, but it is a more thorough process, so you won't have quite as much follow-up. Now, the first step for any sheet mulching project is to start getting your area ready. Today we're going to be doing a small mulching project just right over here, and we've already prepared our site. So to prepare your site, what you want to do is you want to cut your lawn as low as possible. This will help that decomposition process that we're looking for quicken just slightly, because the grass won't have as much to deteriorate and break down. You also want to dig out any sides of your lawn that you have here. This enables your that suppression that you're doing for your lawn and any weeds to be a little bit more thorough, and you won't have cardboard overlapping onto your driveway or walkway. Likewise, if there are any plants that you want to keep, make sure just to dig around those so that you can remove any grass, and then you can build your sheet mulching project right around those plants that you want to keep. Now that we've prepared our site, it's time for us to start building those layers. The first layer that we'll be putting down is going to be your weed suppression layer. Now, this layer is the most important layer of your project, so you really want to do a thorough job with it. Cardboard is a perfect perfect material for this layer, because it helps suppress out any weeds or grasses. You can also use a newspaper to build this layer, but you want to put down at least 10 to 15 layers to enable it to really be a solid suppression layer. Now, before you lay down any cardboard, you want to make sure to strip out any stickers, tape, or staples from it, because you don't want to be pulling out trash from your new soil that you're building. Now, as you're laying down your cardboard, you do want to make sure to overlap it by at least 6 inches. By doing that overlapping, any grasses or weeds that are underneath won't find their ways through the gaps and grow up to the surface, and you'll have to remove those later on. Additionally, once you've laid down your cardboard, you want to actually wet it down nice and thoroughly. This will start that decomposition process, and it'll get your lasagna compost going. Now that we've got our suppression layer down, we're going to start building our soil. So next up, we're going to lay a nitrogen-rich material layer down. In our case, I'm using compost with a mixture of the lawn clippings that I had from earlier. Following that, I'll put a layer of carbon down. I'm using some of the straw chicken bedding that I have from our chickens in the backyard. And then finally, we'll put another nitrogen layer, the compost and lawn clippings on top of that. Now that we've got our layers started, our next step is putting a bulk carbon layer on. You want to put this layer to be about 4 to 6 inches, and it's really going to be the basis of what your planting material will be. Straw bedding or wood chips work great for this layer. have our bulk carbon layer down, we'll then put our very last layer of compost on top and then plant directly into them. Because since we're doing the long method for this sheet mulching project, we're going to wait 3 to 4 months before applying that last layer and planting. If you are doing the shorter method and you remove the grass before you started building your layers, you can go ahead and add your compost and start planting. Thank you for joining us today and learning a little bit more about sheet mulching. One of the best things about sheet mulching is that you can do it on small project areas like this one, or you can follow the same principles and do it on larger projects like the one behind you. To find out more about this or other conservation practices that you can do at home, please visit our website at Tualatin, SWCD.org.